Well, hello everybody and welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Saturday only here on Top Shelf Oldies. Want to welcome you to the cold February 13th, 2016 Vinyl Treasure Show. Glad you can join Johnny G on this frigid night here in New York City. The temperature's really dropping here on the East Coast and really cold weather. It's supposed to get into the 50s like on Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know, they said something about that, but not today. Really frigid weather here, but glad you can join me for the next 2 hours. Got some cool 45s. I love that instrumental. I just got that in this week, that record. I didn't have that federal release, but we opened up with Texas guitarist whose main claim to fame, he was a guitarist for Hank Ballard and the Midnighters. He joined them in 1954 when Hank was passing through Texas. He hired him to replace Hank's previous guitarist, Arthur Porter. He was drafted in the Army, and he asked this artist to join him. And he was with Hank till 1959 when he was arrested in a marijuana bust. And he did 21 months in jail. And he had a few of his own releases. We just heard one right there from March of 1958, Cal Green and his orchestra on Sid Nathan's federal record label. That is a cool tune called The Big Push. The Big Push to open up tonight's cold Vinyl Treasure Show. Well, hopefully I'm going to warm you up with some rare 45s out of my collection. Let's start it off. We open up the vocal portion with this group out of Brooklyn, New York. They had this lone release on the True Light record label, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Willie Kalia, and true first presses of this have the title Fat in parentheses with, then they mention Mommy Oh. Yes, this song called Fat Mommy Oh. This one from 1957. We go to the Chalets on the True Light record label, and their tune called Fat Mommy Oh.
If you got a little mama and you wanna keep on it, you could take her to the liquor shop and she'll be finished because she's
We open up the vocal portion of the Vinyl Treasure Show on this cold night with the Chalets. It feels like I'm in a cold chalet up here in the attic. 1957, Fat Mommy O is the name of the tune. Came out on the True Light record label. Now, in 1961, this 45 was reissued on True Light. I have that one. I don't recall if they bleep out the liquor store, because what they did is, I don't know what the problem is with mentioning a liquor store on in a song. I don't know, but there's a honking saxophone in this 45 if you own it on the Dart label, and I think also maybe even on that True Light label. I'm not sure. I have to check my copy, but I just played the original, and you hear them mention the liquor store. And I think Music Note is another label that came out on, so you might own that 45 on either of those labels. But anyway, that's a cool tune. I like that tune. Great two-sided 45, by the way. Anyway, but let's continue here. Well, Sunday, as we all know, is Valentine's Day, and it's for all the lovers out there. Well, not only the lovers, you can celebrate Valentine's Day with your mother and father. You can give them a card or give it to your wife or your fiance, your girlfriend, or whoever. So to commemorate that, I'm featuring this great group out of Harlem, New York, that shares the same name with Valentine's Day. Of course, that being the Valentines. And here's their first release on George Golner's Rama record label. I haven't heard this one in a long time. One of my favorites. My aunt used to love this 45 until I think I broke it on her. I think she had this 45 and I broke it, unfortunately. But this was their biggest hit. Richard Barrett on lead, Jimmy Wright in the orchestra. This one, October 1955. The Valentines for Valentine's Day on the Rama label. Their cool tune, Lily May Bell. Those are the Valentines for Valentine's Day, October 1955, release on George Golner's Rama record label. A classic song there. Classic sound by the Valentines, Lily May Bell. I bought that copy for a quarter, found it locally. You can't really go wrong spending 25 cents for a record like that. Anyway, that's a cool tune. Johnny G here for a Saturday evening. We are doing 1950s and early 60s out of my collection. We do it every Saturday of the month except the last Saturday of the month, which is all 1960s sounds, 64 and later sounds out of my collection. So let's continue in here. And on the last Vinyl Treasure Show, I played the debut single for the Eldorados, a song called My Lovin' Baby. Came out on Vivian Carter's VJ record label. Now, first presses of that have a typo error in the spelling of the Eldorados. It's not spelled how you normally would. It's spelled with an A. Eldorados is how it looks. And I was lucky to get this copy. Buy it now on eBay for $250. I saw that sometime in the sometime in the early 2000s, lucky to get this record for that price, because it goes for quite a bit more than that. It really does. But anyway, it comes out on, it comes multiple ways, let's put it that way, but it's hard to get it on the red vinyl this way and in this great shape anyway. But we're going to flip the 45 over, and Perkily Moses was on lead on My Lovin' Baby. He's not doing lead on the B-side. It's Arthur Bassett. He's doing lead, and it's the only side that Perkily Moses did not do lead with, at least when he was with the group. This is the only side that he relinquished the lead to. So this one's from August 54. We have B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Vivian Carter's VJ Records, the El Dorados. The El Dorados with their tune called Baby, I Need You.
Da 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 da.
That's why, baby, I need you. Yes, I need you. Honest, I do. Yes, you take my heart and you take my soul. You take my loving and you take my gold. Yes, I need you, baby. Honest, I do. And like I need you, baby, baby, you need me too. Yes, you take my heart and you take my soul. You take my loving and you take my gold. Yes, I need you, baby. Honest, I do. And like I need you, baby, baby, you need me too.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the El Dorados. El Dorados from August 1954. Vivian Carter's VJ record label for that one. Baby, I Need You is the name of the tune. You can hear Perkily Moses in the background there, but the lead singer is Arthur Bassett. He's doing lead on that one. Let's continue here with another one out of 1954 for this group out of Detroit, Michigan. They recorded two on Jesse Carter's SRC record label. I posted this one on my Facebook page. I have their second release, with Norman McLean on lead. I'm featuring the A side of the 45, and I said that I would be playing this record with a 78 needle because it sounds better with a 78 needle because they cut it. When they cut the master for this, they used a 78 needle. Whatever they do for the 78 pressings, that's what they use. I'm going to play this a little bit of this record with the 45 needle. Then you're going to hear it with the 78 needle, and you will hear the difference. I know there was someone on Facebook that made a comment of that, so you're going to hear it right now. So let me first put the 45 needle on. Let's put it on the record here, and let's give it a spin. Here we go. This is what it sounds like with the 45 needle. Okay, there it is with the 45 needle. No, I don't think this is it, Dennis. You want to ask me if, let me see, is it I'll Beg? No, Darling is the flip side of this one, Dennis. I'll Beg, that was their first one. Let me change the needle, folks. It takes me 2 seconds to do. Take this one off and put this 78 stylus on. Right there. Okay, there it goes. Okay, let's hear the same record with the 78 needle. crackles and all but with a 78 needle there. Those are the 5 emeralds from 1954 on the SRC record label, Jesse Carter's SRC label. That's their second release. I wonder if that's the harder release. I don't know. I have I'll Beg on a 45. I think I even have it on a 78, but I was lucky to get that one too at a real cheapo price on a 45. But anyway, that is Pleasure Me, the A side. Flip side's a nice ballad, a song called Darling. But this group, this 5 Emeralds group, in 1957, they would become the Downbeats with 2 recordings on the Peacock record label. They were the same Downbeats that recorded for Berry Gordy Jr.'s Tamla label, and then they became the Elgins on the VIP. They added Sandra Edwards to the group, and they became the Elgins. You know the tune, Heaven Must Have Sent You. Yes, you know that tune by them. Anyway, but that's a cool tune there by the 5 Emeralds, 1954. Let's continue here for a cold Saturday evening. Johnny G spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Last week I played a classic by this Harlem, New York group, the Bop Chords, their first on Danny Robinson's Holiday label. Their tune called Castle in the Sky, a song that my aunt really liked, and she had it on that Rumble album, that Jubilee Rumble album, but the flip side was not on that compilation album. It did not have the B-side, but it deserves a play before I file it back down in the no humidity basement. This one with Ernest Harrison on lead. This one from June of 1956. The Bop Chords on Holiday with their tune called My Darling to You.
My darling,
My darling,
my darling,
my darling,
my darling,
my darling to you.
hey, lily,
Ooh, I love you more than life and want you for my wife. I love you. I won't let you go. Never let you go. Well, I do love you, and I really do trust in you. I hope you trust me too, 'cause I do love you. Now, darling, you know I love you and love you for myself. Now, darling, if I can have you, I don't want nobody else. Well, I do love you, and I really do trust in you. I hope you trust me too, 'cause I do love you. Yes, I do love you.
June 1956 release there by the Bop Chords. The Bop Chords on the Black Holiday record label there. Ernest Harrison on lead there. Song entitled My Darling to You. That's the first of 3 they recorded on the Holiday label. Now that song was covered by a group in 1961 on the Atlantic label. If you're familiar with Tex and the Checks, they do a song called I Do Love You. It is that song as done by the Bop Chords. Johnny G here spinning 1950s. We do it in the first hour here on Top Shelf Oldies. Let's continue here for this group from Gary, Indiana. Same place that the Spaniels were from, and also the Jackson 5. They were from Gary, Indiana, too. I was watching a special on, was it Showtime? On Michael Jackson. It was very interesting. I'm more interested in his early career I am than his later career, but had some cool clips of the Jackson 5 on that Showtime that show, whatever it was. I forget what it was called, but anyway. But this group was signed to Leonard Allen's United label out of Chicago. They had 2 45s on the United label. This is their first. Features Clarence Anderson on lead. This one from February 1954. This comes on red vinyl too, and I have a better condition copy on the red vinyl, but I have it on my play copy, we'll call it. This one here for the 5 C's. The 5 C's from February 54 on United. Their tune called Tell Me.
Tell me you love me, want me to keep you happy. It's true. I love only you. Can't you see? It's you, the girl for me. Tell me you love me, want me to thrill you. I cry each night for no one but you. It's true, so true. I love no one but you. I dream of you each night and day. It's you I love, can't you see? If you go away, my heart would break. I feel so blue without you. Well, my darling, it's true. I love only you. Can't you see? It's you, the one girl for me, yes, for me. It's you, the girl I love. I dream of you each night and day. It's you I love, can't you see? If you go away, my heart would break. I'd be so blue without you. Well, my darling, it's true. I love only you. Can't you see? It's you, the one girl for me, yes, for me. It's you, the girl I love.
They're called the 5 C's, the letter C apostrophe S. The 5 C's there on the Leonard Allen's United record label, one of the thousands of labels your host Johnny G collects. February 1954 release, the 5 C's with their tune called Tell Me. Let's move on here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for a group from Newport News, Virginia. And can you name another group that is out of Newport News, Virginia? As yes, you can. If you said the 5 Keys, you were absolutely correct. They are from the same place. And this group formed while attending high school, and they did admire the 5 Keys, but they were signed to Phil Rose's Glory label. They put out 3 45s. Their biggest hit was their first, and kind of an odd sound, an odd, cool cover of a song called Stormy Weather. But here's the B-side to their third and final release on Glory Records, written by the lead singer. His name is Edward Alston, and he is probably doing most of the lead on this 45. It's from May of 1956. The group is called The Leaders. The Leaders on Glory with Abby Baker and his orchestra. The Leaders with their tune appropriate for Valentine's Day. Their tune called Lovers. May 1956 there for The Leaders. The Leaders there on the Glory record label, their tune called Lovers. That is the B-side. I think it Can't Help Loving That Girl of Mine. Nice rendition of that tune by The Leaders on the flip side there. Now, this group would evolve into the Corvairs, if you're familiar with a tune called True True Love. It came out on the Comet record label. They also became the West Siders on the Leopard label, this Leaders group. Anyway, Johnny babbling on here for a cold, frigid Saturday evening. Hope I'm warming you up with these cool tunes out of my collection. Let's continue here. I was just able to upgrade my copy of this next 45 at a really decent price. Was happy to get this one at a decent price. Came out on George Gollner's G record label. It's the group's only release, co-written by the lead singer. His name is Leonard Lawson. This also with Jimmy Wright and the orchestra. We stay in 1956. Go back to January 1956. G Records for the Valtones. And they're asking you the question, have you ever met an angel?
Have you ever met an angel who could break your heart in two? Have you ever met an angel who could fall in love could break your heart in two. Yes, I've met an angel, and that one is you. Have you ever met an angel who could break your heart in two? Yes, I've met an angel, and that one is you. Break your heart in
January 1956 released there. George Goldner's G record label out of New York City. They're called the Valtones. That is their only release. Their only release there. Leonard Lawson on lead. The name of the tune, Have You Ever Met an Angel? Maybe I have. I don't know. Maybe you have too. John G here spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. The next 45 is probably the rarest one I'll be featuring for this evening. Sometimes play some pretty rare records, you know, or mediocre records or whatever you want to call it. But what can you say about this next 45? I have an original, a true original on Monty Bruce's Bruce record label, and don't ask me about the price. I also posted it on Facebook. I posted a picture of this record. But the group is out of White Plains, New York, very close to where your host Johnny G lives. And this group won first place at one of the Apollo amateur shows. And Monty Bruce was in the audience. He heard them singing a Drifters song, Money Honey, and he wanted them to come in to his office and audition. And he liked what he heard, and he put out this 45 on the Bruce record label. Now, I'm playing the intended A side of the 45, and those, which is the up-tempo side. Now, those early diehard collectors bought this record for the B side, and it's a great tune, a great ballad called Tell Me. But here is the A side from October of 1954. Of course, I'm talking about the Master Tones on Monty Bruce's Bruce record label, and this was the A side, a song called What'll You Do?
Crazy fool, you're so never, oh baby, you're so never, I don't think baby, you're so never fool, you better learn that new rule, you're so never fool. You giggle, you twiggle, but baby when you wiggle.
Yeah, that's on the 45 there. That's on the 45. Very hard 45 to find the original. You can find those 1960 presses pretty easy. Multiple presses of those 1960 presses, but the original is really, really hard to find on a 45 for sure. The Master Tones there from October 1954. That is the A side on the Bruce label. What You'll Do is the name of the tune, and we're going to flip it over next Saturday night. We're going to play the B-side for all the hardcore collectors out there like Dennis wants Johnny G to play the B-side. We will fit that in on next week's Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue here for another great group out of Chicago. They had 4 overall releases on 4 different labels, on the Chance label, on the Blue Lake record label, on the States record label, and the one I'm featuring on Sid Nathan's Federal label. Can you guess who the group is? Can you guess? If you guess the 5 chances, you are correct. And this was their final release for the group. It came out on Sid Nathan's Federal Records. I posted this one on Facebook. I have a promo copy. That's my play copy. I have a nice mint copy, nice vinyl mint copy that I won in a John Tefteller auction that I don't play. But this one's a great tune from July of 1957. Features Johnny Jones on lead, written by group member Jesse Stafford. These are the 5 chances with their tune called My Days Are Blue.
Oh, my dear, my days are blue.
My tears are the rivers that empty in the sea. I give you all my love. Oh, do the same for me. Oh, my days are really so blue. Darling, just 'cause of you. My days are blue. My days are blue.
Oh, my dear, my days
My
are
poor heart just yearns for you. Darling, what else can my heart do? My days are blue. My days are blue. My tears are the river, oh, that empty into the sea. Yes, I gave you all my love. Well, what do you expect of me?
Oh, my dear, my days are blue.
Yes, they wouldn't be so blue, darling, if I knew where to find you. My days are blue.
Those are the 5 chances. The 5 chances. Sid Nathan's Federal record label for that one, July 1957 release. Great 2-sided 45, by the way. It is. Yes, it is. My Days Are Blue. Johnny Jones on lead for that one. Hopefully your day's not blue, not listening to Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show right here on Top Shelf Oldies on this frigid night here in New York City. Let's continue. Let's head to Detroit, Michigan, and another flip side. of a record I played on the last Vinyl Treasure Show as I featured this group out of Detroit, Devorah Brown's Fortune label. They were known as the Royal Jokers, and the side I played was called Sweet Little Angel. That was the ballad side, written by group member and sung by Ted Green. Now, the flip side, the up-tempo flip side, is written and sung by group member Noah Howell. As we go to the yellow Fortune label, if you collect the Fortune label, comes out with multiple colors on these Fortune records. It's pretty cool. Yes, it is. But anyway, it's from April 1958, the Royal Jokers on Fortune, and their tune called I Don't Like You That Much.
Well, you know I don't like you that much to be letting you get so smart. Well, you know I don't like you that much to be letting you break my heart. So if you want your health, you better check yourself. To see tomorrow. Oh yeah.
Like that one there in the Top Shelf Foley Show. What song? I'll wring your neck. That is a great line. That tune. Anyway, that's the Royal Jokers. Royal Jokers there from April 1958. Devorah Brown's Fortune label there. Actually, one that plays pretty nice. Yes, it does. And that's not even a great copy of that record, but that one plays pretty good. It features Noah Howell on lead, the Royal Jokers, with a song called I Don't Like You That Much. John G here spinning original vinyl 45s as we do on a whole Saturday evening. Let's continue here for this group out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And they won a school talent contest. They were granted an audition with Woody Hinderling's Bullseye record label, and in 1956 released their first record, if you're familiar with the tune Shimmy Shimmy Cocoa Wop. That was their first record. Then in 1957, they signed with Joe Auerbach's Phoebe record label with this release, and I am playing the intended B-side of the 45, written by group members Leon Gray and William Germany. It features Eddie Jackson on lead. They're called the El Capris. The El Capris, this one from July 57. It's on the Phoebe label. The song is called Your Star.
There's your star, my star, far
on the Phoebe record label there from July 1957. They're called the El Capris. The El Capris there with their tune called Your Star. Eddie Jackson on lead for that one. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Couldn't find any info on this next group, but they recorded for a New York City label. New York City label owned by Don Carter and Don D. Roby. Now, the same Don Roby that owned the Duke and the Backbeat record label down in Houston, Texas. But Roby had a strong New York connection too. Remember, he got connected to Norman Fox and the Rob Roys in 1957, so he was looking for a piece of the pie here in New York City, too. And one of the writers on this one is Ernest Lamar Simpkins, and I'm wondering if that is possibly the lead singer of this, or at least a group member anyway. But this record was played quite a bit on WINS here in New York City, was number 35 on their survey. So let's give a listen to this group called the Revlons. The Revlons here from April 1958. We go to the Pet record label and their tune called Dreams Are for Fools.
Dreams are for fools. I didn't get to know all my friends would tell me so. I should let all my dreams go. Dreams are for fools. I wouldn't realize until I sit and cry, never ask my heart why. Dreams every night, nothing ever come out right. My heart is so very sad from the dreams that I had. Oh, baby, yes, dreams are for fools. I wouldn't get to know all my friends would tell me so. I should let all my dreams go. Dreams every night, nothing ever come out right. My heart is so very sad from the dreams that I had. Oh, baby, yes, dreams are for fools. I didn't get to know all my friends would tell me so. I should let all my dreams go.
April 58 release there for the Revlons. Revlons on the Pet record label. Cool tune there, song entitled Dreams Are for Fools. The flip side's a great tune also, song called This Is the Moment. That's going to get on the next Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Up next, a group out of Brooklyn, New York. They had only one release that came out on Jerry Blaine's Josie record label. Now, the A side of the 45 earned them some money as it was used in a Martin Scorsese film from 1973. If you're familiar with that film called Mean Streets, actually they played a lot of cool 45s in that movie. The Paragons, I think I remember, some other ones that I remember in that movie. But anyway, Also, John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd, they also did a skit on the A side of this 45 on Saturday Night Live, and they actually released it as a 45 by the Blues Brothers on Atlantic. I'm talking about the song Rubber Biscuit, which I am not really a fan of. I'm not really crazy about that record, that song Rubber Biscuit, but I do love the B-side of the 45 much better, which is written by the lead singer. His name is Charles Johnson, so we're going to flip that 45 over on Jerry Blaine's Josie Records. This one from September 1956. These are the Chips with their tune called Oh My Darling. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Chips. That's the flip side of Rubber Biscuit, the Chips with Oh My Darling. That one there from September 1956. Charles Johnson on lead for that one on the Josie record label. Let's continue here, and here's another flip side from the last Vinyl Treasure Show. We go to Woody Hinderling's Bullseye record label as I featured the Cordells and their debut single, the A side of the 45, a song called Please Don't Go. Great ballad. The flip side is also a ballad, and in most instances, groups would do a ballad and a jump side, and not many would do two ballads on the same record. I even have seen some both up tempos on both sides of a record, but usually it was a fast side and a slow side, or medium tempo, etc. But anyway, the group is from Philadelphia, and both sides are a ballad. This one features Jimmy Ellis on lead. This one from 1958, the Cordells on Bullseye. Their tune is called Believe in Me. They're called the Corvells. The Corvells on Woody Hinderling's Bullseye record label there. We know Warren likes the ballads. He likes that tune there by the Cordells. 1958, Believe in Me. Believe in Johnny G every Saturday. I only play originals. I don't play any MP3s. I don't play any CDs. I think I've only played two reissues or one maybe bootlegs on the show. That's because I didn't have Bohemian Daddy by the Marquis. I featured on Relic. I think the only other record I played was the Cezannes, pardon me, on a reproduction. Because I'm looking for that 45, but all originals, as is this next one. And I'm sure actually go back to New York City to Stan Feldman's and Ed Portnoy's Ivy label, as the partners kicked off the label with their debut single by a girl group, if you're familiar with the Deltaires, Lullaby of the Bells. Sometime in September of 1957, they started this Ivy label. The yellow Ivy label, for you collectors out there, is the original on the Deltaires, Lullaby of the Bells. They followed that release up with this next 45 I have on turntable number 1 by a group called The Five Letters. It's on the yellow Ivy label. I'm featuring the B-side of the 45 because I need an up-tempo. That's why I'm featuring it. This one from October 57, The Five Letters on Ivy, with their tune called Hold My Baby. B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. That is a B-side. The A-side is called Your First Love, I think, which is actually a great tune. We'll get that one on next week's Vinyl Treasure Show. But those are the five letters on the Ivy label, the yellow Ivy label for you collectors out there. October 57 release. Hold My Baby is the name of that tune. So let's continue here. And I'm sure many of you are familiar with Lee Andrews and the Hearts. You're familiar with their tunes like Long Lonely Nights and Teardrops and so many other great tunes, the career of Lee Andrews and the Hearts. But did you know that the group The Hearts had releases also without Lee Andrews? Well, here is the first one they had without Lee. that they released without Lee Andrews. It's on the Arcade record label. Almost looks like the Scepter label. If you look at this record label, I held it up on the Ustream broadcast there for those of you to see. But George Goldner got involved with this and with this release, and so was G&H Publishing. Now, G&H Publishing, that stands for Barry Golder and Jocko Henderson. Of course, they were involved with the mainline label and Lee Andrews and the Hearts hit Long Lonely Nights, but they were also involved with this record with the Hearts. And the song was written by the second tenor of the group. His name is Butch Curry. And for this release, the Hearts picked a new lead singer. They picked Tommy White to do lead. This one from 1959. They called themselves the Five Hearts. It's on the Arcade label. The name of the tune is called Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. People don't change so fast. I thought our love was a love that would last. It's unbelievable. Think of the love we shared, knowing the joy of two lovers who certainly cared. Oh, picture that moment when our precious love began. Remember the day when it came to an end. Why did I let you go, knowing I love you so? I'm so alone and I want you back again. So my heart can clear the shadows of the soul that is so sad. Why you can brighten up this darkness, give me back the love I had. You say that it's too late, oh, and you tried to wait. Now someone new has control of your heart. Still I would like to know, because I love you so. Won't you come back? Let's make a brand new start. Won't you come back? Let's make a brand new start.
Sound out of 1959 on a label called Arcade Records. The Five Hearts there, a song entitled Unbelievable. Now, those are the Lee Andrews Hearts without Lee Andrews. It featured someone by the name of Tommy White on lead. They also recorded as the Hearts, have a release on the Chancellor label, and they also recorded as the Famous Hearts on the Gaiden record label. Now, supposedly, this Arcade release, this song also comes out on the Casino label, Casino 107, as this is Arcade 107, but I've never seen a copy of that. And I'm interested to know if that one really exists. I have to check that Kreider label book and see if one is in there. Well, enough of my babbling here. Let's continue. Let's go to another George Goldner-related album. How about label? His label here called Bernice. Now, there's two 45s on this Bernice label. One is by the Starfires, and then this next one that I'm playing as George Goldner again becoming intertwined with so many people back in the late 1950s, this time with a West Coast connection, that being George Mottola. He became connected with George Mottola on this next 45, who gets writer credit on the A side of the 45, a song called Be My Love. But I'm playing the B side, which has his publishing, and it's called Rick Page Music. Now, Rick Page Music is a company owned by his wife, his lovely wife, Ricky Page. Ricky Page, who was a songwriter and a singer. She does some cool 45s. Yes, she does through the years. But here are Billy the Kid and the Supremes. This one from October 58. It's on Bernice Records. The song is called You Are Mine. George Gallner's Bernice record label for that one, October 1958 release for Billy the Kid and the Supremes and their tune called You Are Mine. You Are Mine every Saturday night starting at 10 p.m. right here on Top Shelf Oldies. Let's go for another B-side from the last 50s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show as I featured this group out of Detroit and their only release. I played the A-side, a song called Mambo Carolyn. Well, here is the B-side, which is a nice ballad, came out on the Val label, VAL Records. This one from October 59. They're called the Octaves. The Octaves and their tune called You're Too Young.
Sharing my love.
Johnny G gets whoops. As Johnny G gets caught off the microphone. Yeah, yes I do. That's a pretty cool tune. I like that ballad there by a group called the Octaves, October 1959, on the Val, the record label, song entitled You're Too Young. No, you're not too young to listen to Johnny G and the adult sounds of the Vinyl Treasure Show. And could this record be an adult sound up next? But anyway, Charlene and I had a horrible time finding any information on this next 45. Rockin' Records had it in their price guide, and they said this record was from 1962. But I really, really doubt that. This is not a record from 1962. It doesn't sound that way to me anyway. And actually, when I look at the record, it says Unbreakable. Now, they were putting Unbreakable on 45s from the 50s. It wasn't into the 60s that I saw Unbreakable. I'm sorry about that. And it sounds like a 50s record. It's on a label called On the Ball. On the Ball Records, which is out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. There's even an address, is a P.O. Box 631, and it just looks like a 50s record, even the way that it was pressed. The writer is Dixon. Now, I don't know if that is Luther Dixon. Usually, if it was him, I think they would have put an L there. So I don't really think it's Luther Dixon. The publisher is Draxton BMI. That's all that's on the label. It's a yellow label. Actually looks pretty cool. It's called On the Ball, and it is an oddball. This one from 1957 or 58, I guess, but you can be the judge. Let's give it a spin. It's by Avis and Chuck Thompson and Combo, and it's on the Ball, and the name of the tune is called Why So?
Every time I walk down the street, there's a certain boy I always meet. He came to me and said, I love you, and I wouldn't no one above you. I said, why so? He said,
I don't know, I guess it's the way you walk.
I didn't know just what to say. I kept meeting him every day. Then he said, I can't live without you. Baby, there's no doubt about you. I said, why so? He said,
I guess it's the way you talk.
I don't know you or your name. Furthermore, I don't even feel the same. He said, shucks, baby, don't make no fuss.
Now the love is for the both of us.
And then it came as no surprise. He was looking me straight in the eyes. He spoke to me and said, I'll be my wife. I'll love you for the rest of my life. I said, why so? Why so? He said,
'Cause I love you, that's why.
and then it came as no surprise. He was looking me straight in the eyes. He spoke to me and said, I'll be my wife. I'll love you for the rest of my life. I said, why so? Why so? He said,
'Cause I love you, that's why.
why so? Why so? He said,
'Cause you move me, that's why.
why so? Why so?
'Cause you got me mesmerized.
What an odd record for the On the Ball record label. On the Ball Records is the label. It's by Avis and Chuck Thompson and Combo. Now, that didn't sound like an Avis on lead. I don't think Avis is a girl's name, is it? I don't think so. But that was a female definitely singing in there. Maybe we heard Chuck Thompson and Avis in the background. I don't know, but it's from 57, 58. That is not from 1962. I'm sorry, that is not a 1962 record. It's Avis and Chuck Thompson and Combo, a song entitled Why So. John G here spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Let's continue here. Anybody see Jersey Boys? Did you see Jersey Boys, a story of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons? Well, it relates to this next 45. And before Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons had their big hits in the early 60s, they did have some mild success as the Four Lovers. They signed with RCA Records and had an appearance on the Ed Sullivan Show singing that mild hit, You're the Apple of My Eye. But then after that, they went kind of like in limbo. And they really didn't have another hit. They have that rare record on the Epic label that came out that I did get. It's a great group harmony record that they do. But eventually, they connected with George Golner, and he put out a 45 on his Cindy label. Actually, it was the last release on the Cindy label. And at this time, before they saw that Four Seasons bowling alley and became the Four Seasons, they were called Frankie Valli and the Romans. And he spelled his name for this release, Valle. And George Golner put out this record on the Cindy label. It's the last record on Cindy, 3012. Let's give it a spin. It's from late 1958. Frankie Valli and the Romans with their tune called Real Parentheses, This Is Real.
When you kissed my lonely lips, I said from the start, this is real, this is real, this is real, this is real. I can feel it in my heart. When you're in my loving arms, my worries are through. This is real. This is real. This is real. This is real. 'Cause I feel at home with you. I've had infatuation, still there was something wrong. Now I have consolation, for the real, yes, the real thing has come along. You don't have to tell me so, darling, I'll tell you. This is real. This is real. This is real. This is real. 'Cause I feel your love is true. This is real.
That is Frankie Valli and the Romans on the Cindy record label. That is the final release on the Cindy record label. Their tune called Real, This Is Real. That one late 1958. Now, what happened with this one, they changed their name to the Four Seasons. Golner's still involved with this group as Golner did put out the first Four Seasons 45 on his Gone record label. That one came out in December of 1961, a song called Bermuda, if you're familiar with that one. Anyway, there you go. John G here spinning original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Gotta mention that I sent an email to YouTube on why one of my shows, I forget the date, Charlene, you have to remind me of the date, it was banned in the U.S. They stated, SME contacted me and said I played a Spanish record and they were going to block it here in the U.S. So I sent an email to YouTube. They had to copyright something. I sent it to them. I said, look, I said, I own all these records I play. I don't play Spanish records on my show unless it's the Val Reyes, Yo Me Pregunto. That was the last Spanish record I played, but it was on the charts here in the U.S. I did not play that record. And you can go check your machine or check whatever it is that runs through my stream and finds all these records and does all these matches. I mean, I don't complain about the wrong things that are going on. It's matching songs I don't even play, and it bans it in some of them in 99 countries, then it's banned in 2 countries, then it's banned in 10. And I think Mark from the UK told me that my last week's show was banned in the UK. He couldn't watch it on Ustream. I wonder if you can watch it. You can't watch it on YouTube. Maybe, Mark, you got to go to my Ustream feed and see it on there. It's there for, I think, 30 days. But anyway, they got back to me. They said, send me the URL link and we'll look at it and get back to you. So I haven't heard from them yet. And so they're checking it out. So maybe they'll notice that I didn't play that record. Anyway, so let's continue. It's a January 23rd one that I played of 2016. Anyway, but let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's move into 1960, or we move into the early 1960s. And this one is another 45 that Charlene nor I could find any info on. The only thing I can tell you that Ferdy's Disco File dates the record from 1960, and it's on a label called Pine Records that was located at 4579 White Pine in Memphis, Tennessee, and the publisher is PV Music, and the song was written by someone by the name of Bill Young, and the group is called Eddie, Renee, and the Titans. This one's from 1960. It's on Pine Records. Give a listen to their tune. It's called Snake Leg.
Snake leg, all day and all night. Will you was out of sight? You can do it. You can do it. Now come on. You're riding pony. You're riding way out west. Oh, I know you know how to ride the pony, girl. The snake leg, you love the best. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. You just wiggle your hips to the left. Come on, baby. Wiggle your hips to the right. Oh, I know you can do it. Move your knees and snake leg fashion. Snake leg is out of sight. Snake leg all day and all night. Wiggle your hips out of sight. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Whenever you can do the twist, when you're feeling blue, you can do the snake leg. But baby, it's just made for you. Snake leg all day and all night. Everybody's out of sight. You can do it. You can do it. Come on.
For some reason, that record reminds me of a Vibrations 45. maybe the Watusi or something like that. But anyway, that's Eddie Renee and the Titans, 1960 release on the Pine label out of Memphis, Tennessee. Let's continue here. And up next, request for Rick from Philly. Wanted to hear this side by a group from the Bronx, New York. The group recorded under a few names. They recorded as the Crafties on the Lois and Seven Arts record label, and they also recorded as the Halos, if you're familiar with a tune called Nag. And they also backed up Curtis Lee on the Dunes label on Pretty Little Angel Eyes and Gee How I Wish You Were Here. And the members were Al Cleveland, Bobby Spencer, Arthur Cryer, and the lead singer goes by the name of Harold Johnson. And this is a request for Rick from Philly, currently in the Top Shelf Oldies chat, and this one on Morris Levy's Roulette record label. We go back to December 1960 for a group called the Cognacs. The Cognacs on Roulette, and their tune called Heaven Only Knows.
Heaven only knows how much I love you. That's the way it goes. What can I do now that you have gone? I'm sad and blue. Oh, since you've gone away, I've been lonely. How did you forget? My heart was true. Heaven only knows how much I love you. Darling, down by the sycamore tree, that's where we met. Your lips were warm, your eyes so heavenly. Heaven only knows I long for you, dear. My love is for you. No one else will do. Heaven only knows how much I need you. Heaven,
By request for Rick from Philly, sent Johnny G an email at vinyltreasures at AOL.com. Wanted to hear the Cognacs from December 1960 there on the Roulette record banner, song entitled Heaven Only Knows. Let's continue here back to Chicago for this next 45, as this group has multiple releases on, no, actually, let's take it back, that there are multiple groups that go by the name of Uniques, but this group of Uniques have releases on Lenny LaCour's 620 label and his Lucky 4 label, which is the one that I am featuring, and this is the intended B-side of that 45 from August of 62. This one I also posted on my Facebook page. Give a listen to the Uniques on the Lucky 4 label and their tune called Silvery Moon.
Mama, 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 yip, 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 look at that silvery moon. Mama, 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 yip, 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 look at that silvery moon. Silvery moon. Won't you shine tonight? Let your magic light shine.
You know I love her so, and I just want her to know. And if you will shine tonight, everything will be alright. Silvery moon, won't you shine tonight? Let your magic light shine. Everything will be
August 1962 release there, a group called The Uniques. The Uniques on the Lucky 4 record label, their tune called Silvery Moon. And on one of the 620 releases, they spell their name oddly. They put an E in front of the Uniques. E-Uniques, an odd spelling for that one. Don't know if Johnny G is still on the air. Something happened to the Top Shelf Oldies chat room, so I don't know if I'm still broadcasting or not. Don't see that it's spinning as I am back, but am I still on the air, Alex? If you can type in if I'm still on the air. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. This next artist was born in Winterville, Mississippi, but he moved to Chicago as a child. He formed a group with Otis Lavelle. They called themselves the Floats, but they never recorded. But he became a featured dancer on a local TV show in Chicago called Time for Teens. And the presenter was Jim Lounsbury, and gave him a one-off record deal with Mercury Records for one single. And it wasn't until 1963 when he started to achieve success with songs like The Monkey Time and Hey Little Girl and others on the OK record label. And you know who I'm talking about, that being Major Lance. But here is that one-off debut single he did on the Mercury label. It was written by Curtis Mayfield, and supposedly the Impressions are backing him up on this. This one from February 1960. This is the debut single for Major Lance. Major Lance on Mercury. The name of the tune is called I've Got a Girl.
Oh,
That is the debut single there for Major Lance. Major Lance, released in February of 1960 on the Mercury record label. Song written by Curtis Mayfield. Impressions backing him up on that one. A song entitled "I've Got a Girl." So he had major success when with his releases on the OK record label, but he did have some hard times. Yes, he did, as he was arrested twice. The first time in 1965 for violation of the Paternity Act. Then in 1978, he was convicted of cocaine possession, and he served a 4-year prison term. Then, unfortunately, in 1987, he had a heart attack and nearly became blind from glaucoma. He didn't know that he had glaucoma. He almost lost his eyesight, and as a result, he retired. His career was over, and unfortunate that he died in 1994. He died of a heart attack in his sleep. We remember him here on the Vinyl Treasure Show and Top Shelf Oldies. Let's continue here. As last week I played a request, actually an old request for Warren. He wanted to hear a Tony and the Holidays song on ABC Paramount Records, a song called "There Goes My Heart Again." That was the A side of the 45, but I like the B side too, a great two-sided 45. So we're going to flip it over before I file it back down in the no humidity basement. This one from January 1962. It's Tony and the Holidays. Tony is really Tony Castro. This one on ABC Paramount. Give a listen to the tune. It's called "My Love Is Real."
I know that I love you so and want the world to know that I will never let you go. Well, you mean so much to me. Oh, my baby, can't you see that we belong together for eternity? And I'll be faithful, faithful and true, and I will never, no, you can bet I'll never make you blue. Now if you should leave me, yes, I'd rather die. Believe me, my baby, that's no lie.
That's no lie.
And so you say, yes, how I feel. My love is hard to conceal, so I want you to know my love is real. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My love, oh my love, my love is real. Oh, my love is real.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. A great two-sided 45 there by Tony and the Holidays, January 1962 release. Tony Castro on lead there. ABC Paramount Records for that one. My Love Is Real, as Johnny G's 45s are real every Saturday night right here on Top Shelf Oldies. So let's continue. Let's go back to Tennessee, this time to Nashville, Tennessee, for this label called Pink, P-I-N-K, Pink Records here. Now, not much available or not much information on this label label either, and not many releases. I think there's either 8 or 9 releases on this label. The biggest hit for the label was probably a cover song that was done by Narvel Feltz. He does a interesting version of the Drifters' Honey Love. That, I think, was the biggest record on the Pink record label. But this one's by Dave White and the Pyramids, and I'm playing the intended B-side of the 45. This one came out in April of 1960. Dave White and the Pyramids. It's on Pink, and the name of the tune is called Write My Name.
Write my name on your notebook. Write my name for the world to see. Write my name on your notebook. You belong to me. Take my pen, make a start. Put my initials in your heart. Draw the bow, draw the arrow. Cupid shot it at me. Wear my letter on your sweater and my fraternity pin. And on the hand I hold there'll be a band of gold when our school days end. So write my name on your notebook. Tell the world you belong to me. Write my name on your notebook. Cupid sent you to me. Sweater and my fraternity pin, and on the hand I hold there'll be a band of gold when my school days end. So write my name on your notebook. Tell the world you belong to me. Write my name on your notebook. Cupid sent you to me. Write my name on your notebook. Tell the world you belong to me. Write my name on your notebook. Cupid sent you to me. Cupid sent you to me. Yeah. Cupid sent you to me.
April 1960 release there for Dave White and the Pyramids. That one there on the Pink record label, song entitled Write My Name. Write my name every Saturday night in your notebook. Tune in to Top Shelf Oldies at 10 p.m., 10 to midnight right here. John G spinning original vinyl 45s, 50s in the first hour, 60s in the second. Let's go back to Philadelphia, PA. Oh, I forgot to mention I got weighed in at Weight Watchers today. I wasn't so happy, but I guess you're not supposed to lose more than 2 pounds a week. I lost 1.8, so really my 5-week total is 21 or 21.4. I guess I really can't complain about that. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Back to Philadelphia, PA. We go to Jerry Ross's Heritage label. Posted this one up on my Facebook page. You can check it out. And Heritage, mostly known for releases by the Dream Lovers, mainly, you know that tune, the big hit, When We Get Married. But here's one of the harder 45s to find on the Heritage label, and it's a duet by Kenny and Tommy, who are really Kenny Gamble and Tommy Bell. And they both composed the song, this one from September 62. Let's give it a spin. Kenny and Tommy on Heritage. And the name of the tune is called Someday You'll Be My Love.
But gone away, and I don't know how long you're gonna stay. But if you come back, you can be sure I'm gonna love you in the same way. Someday you're gonna be my love. You're gonna be my love someday. But I don't know when it will be.
September 1962 release there for Kenny and Tommy. Really, Kenny Gamble and Tommy Bell there on the Heritage label. Does sound a little bit like a Dream Lovers tune. The song is called Someday You'll Be My Love. Yes, you will. John G here, continuing here. We are almost 1 minute from Vinyl Treasure Overtime. We always do Vinyl Treasure Overtime here on a Saturday evening. Let's go to New York City for this next group, as their debut 45 came out in March of 1962 on the RSVP label. If you're familiar with actually a two-sided record that's pretty good, Tears of Love, backed with Dance Now. They followed that release up with this one that I'm featuring on Sonny Lester's Gold Eagle label. This one from June of 1962. Give a listen to The Persians on Gold Eagle with their tune called Love Me Tonight.
The twinkle in your eyes tonight sets my soul on fire. When I'm in your arms so tight, that is my desire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love me tonight, yeah. Love me tonight, oh. Love me tonight, yeah. Love me tonight, yeah. Love me tonight, oh. Love me tonight. When I'm on my knees, I pray to the Lord above that you're coming home tonight to give me some more of your love. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Love me tonight, yeah. Love me tonight, oh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love me tonight, yeah. Love me tonight, oh. Love me tonight. Nobody loves you like me, and it's plain to see. Darling, I want you because I feel this love is true. There's stardust in your eyes tonight when you're standing near. If you ever say goodbye, I shed many tears. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Love me tonight, yeah. Love me tonight, oh. Love me tonight, yeah. Love me tonight, yeah. Love me tonight, oh. Love me tonight, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I guess some of these records do have a Valentine's theme to them, you can say. Those are the Persians from June of 1962, the Gold Eagle record label there, their tune called Love Me Tonight. They would have two more releases in 1963. I think one on Music World that then came out on the Gold, and then two others on the Gold Disc record label. John G is now officially in Vinyl Treasure Overtime, and let's continue here with the Valentine type songs. I guess this one could be a considered one too. We go to Los Angeles, California, this time to Lou Bedell's Bamboo record label, and the only release for this duo, as they go by their last names, oddly, they're called Wilkes and Wilkerson. They're really Nat Wilkes and the composer of the song, that being James Wilkerson. An interesting name for sure. Wilkes and Wilkerson. This one from January 1962. We'll send it out to all the Valentine lovers out there. This one on Bamboo, a song entitled Young Lovers.
Well, I went to the party. You ain't even know, even there. Searched all over for you, baby, but couldn't find you nowhere. Young lover.
Out of L.A., California, they're Wilkes and Wilkerson. Really, Nate Wilkes and James Wilkerson, January 62 release on the Bamboo record label, song entitled Young Lover. John G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. We continue. We go back to Brooklyn, New York for this next group that initially recorded as the Chessmen on the Mirasonic record label. They do a cool tune called I Live For You, that one there from 1959. Then in 1969, they 61, not 69. 61, they changed their name to the Preludes, and they had one release on the P-I-K record label. Now, there must have been some legal issue that arose with another Preludes group because they forced them to change their name slightly. And all they really did is they added the number 5 to their name. They became the Preludes 5, and those DJ copies that they pressed up, they used rubber stampers to stamp the letter 5 on the promos. So if you have one of the later promos, it has you'll see them. You can check them out if you check out on Google or something. You'll see it's stamped number 5. But originally the first presses of this came out just as the Preludes. There were some stock copies that were released because I think it first came out in March of 61. Then by the time the legal action happened, it was 3 months later, like May or June. Anyway, but I'm playing the copy that reads Preludes, and this one charted nationally, made it onto Billboard, but only up to number 80. It's actually a great two-sided 45. We're going to listen to the A-side, the charted side. This one from March of 61, the Preludes on Pick, and their tune called Starlight.
Whoa,
They're called The Preludes. The Preludes there from March 1961 on the PIK label, P-I-K Records, a styrene press there, yes. Song entitled Starlight. The B-side's excellent. Also, a song called Don't You Know, so stay tuned for next Saturday night. I will flip that 45 over. Let's continue here. We continue this next 45, I'm guessing, is from 1962, because another record I've had some trouble researching, although Charlene did find some stuff about this next artist that he has a common name. His name is Bobby Taylor. Now, there are a lot of different Bobby Taylors out there because it is a common name, but there were at least 4 singers that have that name. But Charlene pointed out that this artist is out of Boston, Massachusetts, this Bobby Taylor, and this one from 62. Let's give it a spin. It's a great tune. Bobby Taylor on the Barbara label. On the Barbara label. We'll send this one out to my sweetheart Barbara for Valentine's Day. Bobby Taylor with a song called You Are My Heart.
You are my heart, the very life of me. You are my heart, my love eternally. The dream I dream, the song I sing, that's what you are to me, my everything. You are the soul, a flame inside of me, the road I walk to my destiny. I love you so, I need you so. You are my heart, the very life of me. You are my heart, my love eternally. Don't be my thing, the song I sing, that's what you are to me, my everything. You are the soul, oh, flame inside of me, the road I walk to my destiny. I love you so, I need you so. You are my
Looking for an echo. There you go. That is Bobby Taylor. Bobby Taylor from 1962 on the Barbara record label. Barbara Records there, song entitled You Are My Heart. That was a Jerry Diaz special that was sold to Johnny G. Enough of my babbling here. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's continue here. We go to the Bronx, New York for this Italian-American vocal quartet. That's kicked off Don Ames and Vinnie Catalano's Whale record label as they're well, actually, this is not the record that kicked off the label, but this group did kick off the Whale label with a cover of a song called Count Every Star. And they followed it up with this tune, which was another cover that was originally recorded by the Harptones in 1954. Now, the lead singer goes by the name of Louis Bergio, better known as Donnie, and he was lead of Donnie and the Dreamers, as this one charted nationally also. This one made it up to number 79 on the Billboard Hot 100. Let's go back to July of 1961. This is Donnie and the Dreamers on the Whale record label, and their rendition of the Harptones tune, My Memories of You.
please give me more than just memories of. All I have to keep me is my memories of you. I sit alone at night and wonder what did I do. I've lost you, it's true, but I still have my memories of you. I gave you everything and still you ask me for more. I guess I'm just a fool, didn't realize the score. Won't you give me more than just memories of you? Tell me what I've done, tell me what I've said. I guess I use my heart instead of using my head. Knowing that I love you, how could you break my heart? Can't stand it any longer, wondering why we're apart. Please give me more than just memories of you. Tell me what I've done, tell me what I've said. I guess I use my heart instead of using my head. Knowing that I love you, how could you break my heart? Can't stand it any longer, wondering why we're apart. Please give me more than just memories of you. Memories of you.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Overtime. That is Donnie and the Dreamers. Louis Bergio on lead there. July 1961 on the Whale label, their rendition of the tune My Memories of You. And they also recorded as Kenny and the Whalers on the Whale record label. I think actually after that first release, they became Kenny and the Whalers. Then they released this one as Donnie and the Dreamers. Johnny G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Let's go to this next singer-songwriter from Augusta, Georgia. Started recording back in 1960 on the Adair label, but he has other releases on different labels like United Artists and Liberty and Cutlass and Delphi and others, and not the Bob Keane Delphi, another DELPHI label. And here's one he did in 1963 on the Cantor, CANTOR label with a vocal group backing him up. It's from March of 1963. His name is Roy Smith. Roy Smith on Cantor. The song is called He's Not Your Type.
He's not your type of guy. You don't want the one who makes you cry. He's a two-faced pretender, so don't you surrender. He's not, no, he's not your type. He's not your kind of guy. Don't be your hope, don't build them too high. He'll lead astray.
Just let
Then go on his way. He's not, no, he's not your type. I know that he's telling you lie after lie, and sooner or later he's gonna make you cry. So listen to me. I love you faithfully. He's not, no, he's not your type.
March 1963 release there for Roy Smith. Roy Smith and a group on the Cantor record label, song entitled He's Not Your Type. I hope you're my type for Saturday evenings right here on Top Shelf Oldies. So let's continue. We just got this record in the mail last week or so, as this record first came out on a label called Big B Records. Then it was picked up by Bill Lowry's Showbiz record label down in Atlanta, Georgia. He also owned the NRC label. And the writer of the song and the singer, his real name is Bill Blankenship. And he shortened it. He said, I can't be called Bill Blankenship. It's better if I'm called Billy Blank. So that's what he called himself, Billy Blank. And he's backed up with some gals. They're known as The Chance. This one from December of 1960, Billy Blank and The Chance on Showbiz. And their tune called Margaret. December 1960 release there for Billy Blank. Billy Blank and the Chance on the Showbiz label. His tune called Margaret. Has another one on the Diamond Disc label. John G here spinning vinyl 45s for the Vinyl Treasure Show. We are in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Got a request for a bopper boy Warren. Wanted to hear this group out of Providence, Rhode Island, as they have this lone release on Ray and Myron Muff's Planet label. And it was written by the lead singer. He goes by the name of Cosmo B. Del Negro. And it's the B-side of the 45. This one from July of 64, by request for Bopper Boy, the Fairmonts. The Fairmonts on Planet, and their tune called Lucky Guy. By request for Bopper Boy Warren there, wanted to hear the Fairmonts. The Fairmonts from July 1964 on the Planet label. This Planet label out of Providence, Rhode Island, a song entitled Lucky Guy. And Warren was a lucky guy that he got. That's a good buy, Warren, for that amount of money. Yes, it is. As we continue here on Vinyl Treasure Overtime, let's flip over another 45 from the last Vinyl Treasure Show as I played the A-side by this Long Island group known as the Imaginations. Now, they were the same group that recorded on the Music Makers label, and Frank Mancuso, he was the lead, but he left the group in April of 1962, and Bobby Bloom of Montego Bay fame, yes, he took over lead, and he actually does lead on both sides of this 45. We heard the A-side, a song called Wait a Little Longer. Let's flip it over, give a listen to the B-side of the 45 before it goes back down in the No Humidity basement. This one released in December of 62. It's on the Ballad label. These are the Imaginations, Bobby Bloom on lead. The song is called Mama's Little Baby.
Mama little baby, oh mama baby, mama little baby girl. With her at a high school dance, it was the first sight true romance. She seemed so all alone, so I asked if I could take her home. We started on our way. I tried to kiss her to say, stop right here, listen to me. I gotta tell you about my mommy. Mama don't like me out with boys. Mama sometimes seem awful hard. She's so afraid I'll fall in love and always sin on the baby girl. Ta-ta, mama, 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 baby. Mama, 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 baby. Mama, little baby. so sad. Give me time to talk to your dad. I'll make him understand. Oh, baby, now I'm your man. But he'll realize that you're real wise. You're old enough and now to be my bride. She said, Mama don't like me out with boys. Mama sometimes seem awful hard. She's so afraid I'll fall in love. And always singing on the baby girl. Ta-ta, mama, 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 baby. Mama, 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 baby. Oh, mama, baby. Yeah, mama, baby. Mama, 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 baby. Mama, 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 baby. Mama, little baby.
B-sides here on Vinyl Treasure. Overtime there. The Imaginations. Bobby Bloom on lead, their December 1962 release on the Ballad label. A song entitled Mama's Little Baby. As we continue here, and we go back to Los Angeles, California, to a label called Poncho Records. And there is a rare 45. At one time, it was an ultra rare 45 on this Poncho label by a group called the Grand Prix, spelled Prix. The song was called Late Summer Love. It came out in the summer of 1963. I got to tell you a story about that because I have another one on the Poncho label. So what happened was, and it was a while ago now, I'm going to say at least maybe 7 or 8 years now that this happened. So this record shows up on eBay, a Stone Mint copy, and the guy says, well, I found this record at a garage sale. And it's he really didn't know how to describe it that well, but you look at the label and it looked mint. So I said, well, I got to go for this record because I need this Grand Prix record. So what did I bid? I think I bid I think it was $803 on the record. $803.11 or something on the record. I lost it. I lost the record in the last second. So, I said, oh, well, I lost it. It was a Stone Mint copy, whatever. I think the record was selling for $1,500 or something like that at the time, or maybe a little less, maybe $1,000 or something like that. But anyway, so a week goes by, and there's another listing of this Grand Prix on Poncho. So, I got nervous when I saw that again because it was another mint copy. And I tried to find out at the time, you were able to see all the bidders on these records, so you knew who you were bidding against, or you knew who outbid you. You knew the name, but I didn't know the name for this record. I eventually found out who it was, somebody from New Jersey that won that record. So I contacted the guy and I said, look, I have to ask you something. How many copies of this record do you have? So he says to me, he was hesitating. I had him on the phone. And I said, come on. I said, you have to let me know how many copies you have because it's going to affect the price of this record. It's a rare record. And he didn't want to tell me. And then he told me he had 3 copies. I said, you have another copy of this? Because that's going to affect the price of the record. So he said, so he listed it again, and I ended up winning the record for, or actually it wasn't that. He sold me the record or the other copy of the record without listing it on eBay. He didn't want to pay the fees or whatever. So he sold it to me at my bid, which was $800 or whatever it was. So he sold me the record. So then a month goes by, and he lists the other one that sells, I think, for something around what I paid for it, $800 or $750 or whatever. So then he lists another one about 3 months later, and I said to him, look, you told me you had 3 copies of this record. So he says, well, no, I have a few. I said, well, what's a few? So I said to him, well, look, I said, sell me another copy because I had a deal set up that I would sell a copy of this record for $800 to another one of my friends. So I said, look, you got to sell me a copy for $700 because I already have a deal set up to sell. And he did. So he sold me another copy. I find out like about a year later, he had like 15 copies of this record. So it brought the price down. I think the price eventually went down to about $600 or $650 for the record. But anyway, it has gone up in price now because these things have now disappeared. But maybe everybody who wants the record has it already. Not only did he have that Grand Prix record, but he had this record that I'm playing on the Poncho label. But I had this one already. I had a nice mint copy of it. I don't know how many copies of this one he had. I'm sorry to babble on so much about that, but I have so many stories about eBay and these records. It's like mind-boggling. But anyway, let's just give this one a spin here. We'll go to the Poncho label for this duo called Melvin and Lee. And Charlene nor I could find anything about this record except of the writer credit. The writer credit goes Melvin and Lee, which is kind of odd. And I'm guessing that Lee might be this guy Lee Andrew, who gets the publisher name. It says Lee Andrew. But anyway, let's give it a spin. It's from October 63, Melvin and Lee on Poncho. The song is called I Need Your Love.
I need your love. I need your arms. Darling, I need you near. I want to please you. I want to hold you, dear. And I want you, dear. When I lay down to rest, I need your sweet caress. And when I rise early in the morning, I want to feel you by my side. I need your love. And I need your arms. Darling, I need you near. Yes, I do need you near. I need you near.
October 63 there for Melvin and Lee. Like that tune there by them. I Need Your Love is the name of that one on the Poncho label. Sorry to babble on that way, but lots of stories of craziness on eBay through the years. I've been a member since I've been purchasing on eBay since 1999 or 98. I think I've been a member on eBay. Anyway, John G here in Vinyl Treasure Overtime. Got a few more 45s to go. We're going to sign off here in... Geez, my CD thing is going to run out. Anyway, we got a few more 45s to go, but let's continue here. A couple weeks ago on the 50s edition, I played the B-side of this next 45 on Sid Nathan's King label. The song was called My Dream, and it was by a girl group, and that was the B-side of the 45. Let's flip it over, give a listen to the A-side, which features Margaret Strong on lead. They're called the Charmettes. The Charmettes here from May of 62. It's on King Records. The song is called Answer Me.
Answer me, my love. Answer me, my love.
Girl group sounds here as we close down the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Charmettes from May 1962. That's the A side of the 45. Sid Nathan's King record label there. Margaret Strong doing lead song entitled Answer Me. Well, that's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. You want to get in touch with me, send me an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. You can also reach me at JohnnyGVinyltreasures@gmail.com. Been recording this for the with the Ustream broadcaster. Going to get this up on my YouTube account. We'll see what countries that YouTube bans this in with their copyright laws and rules and regulation. But hey, folks, I own every record I play. That is for sure, and that's going to do it. And the closer for this evening is another duo. Featured a lot of duos this evening. This duo is called Johnny and Jeff. And this 45 came out on Max and Sol Weiss's Fantasy label, a label mostly known, at least in the early stages, with a lot of jazz recordings, a lot of jazz records on the label, a lot of cool red vinyls, too, of jazz songs. But anyway, there is some cool stuff on the label, a Bobby Moore record, there's a Chauncey Huff record, there's this one, there's a odd doo-wop record by the Winds of Notre Dame. I don't have that 45. I think I don't know if it was a spoof or a novelty or what, but I've tried to get that 45 a couple times. It's not the greatest, but I do need that 45. But anyway, the closer for tonight is a duo. They're Johnny and Jeff. Their real names are Johnny Greek and Larry Mannering. But no, I'm sorry. Is it Larry Mannering or Jeff Mannering? It's Jeff Mannering as I mess up. I don't know why I wrote Larry Mannering. But anyway, the closer tonight's on the Fantasy labels from October 63, Johnny and Jeff with a song called I'm Afraid of Losing You. And yes, I am, because Johnny G's going to have to lose you for this cold Saturday night. Hope you dug on all the tunes this evening. I enjoy bringing them to you every Saturday from 10 to midnight right here on Top Shelf Oldies. And I hope everybody has a happy Valentine's Day tomorrow. Barbara's been ill. Barbara's been sick, so I haven't been able to see her much over the last week or two. So that's a bummer, though, but she's going to get better, then I will see her. So everybody have a great Valentine's Day tomorrow. And Dave the Rave and Relics and Rarities will not be on tomorrow evening. Ramtown Mike will be filling in starting at 9 p.m. with the other side of Ramtown. He'll be filling in tomorrow evening, Sunday evening, for Dave the Rave. So tune in to Mike tomorrow evening. That's going to do it, folks. Want everybody to have a safe and happy week. I'll see you here next Saturday night at 10 p.m. for more 50s and early 60s out of my collection. Just want to say, everybody, so long.
There's no reason I should cry, but I do. There's no reason I should be so blue. There's no reason, I just guess it's because I'm afraid of losing you. I'm so afraid of losing you. There's no reason my heart aches, but it